محترم الحاج Mullah Mohammad Hassan Akhund سرپرست ریاست الوزراء.
Al-Hajj Muhammad Hassan is acting as the head of the cabinet.
محترم مولوی محمد یعقوب مجاهد
Muhammad Yaqub Mujahid
وزارت الدفاع.
acting as a defense minister.
Let's cross over to Haroun Rahimi. He joins us now from Rome, and he's an assistant professor of law at the American University of Afghanistan. Haroun, what do you make of this announcement?
I think it was meant to satisfy different elements within the Taliban movement, those power holders, and it did that. It was basically divvying up the posts between Taliban ranks, senior ranks. That's all it did. I disagree with Ali that it was meant to improve the working of the government, because none of these people have the qualifications needed to run the departments they are assigned to. As Zabihullah Mujahid hinted to, it was just a political choice to divvy up power within the Taliban movement, within their ranks. So it doesn't have a positive impact on improving the working of the government, because these people are not qualified to run the department they're assigned to.
Are we perhaps getting this idea that the Taliban is not this sort of all smooth, homogeneous group, and that there are various factions, and this could cause a problem in the future? And this is why they came out as a caretaker government.
Absolutely. But I mean, the whole idea that they made an announcement at this point to divvy up the power, what exists right now, the pie right now, between different people in the group to satisfy their bases, to consolidate internal power, that's what it was. You have to realize it's not going to improve government because these people are not qualified to run the departments. Also, it's not going to improve governments because Taliban need money from outside to come in for the economy to be safe. And putting people like Sirajuddin Haqqani in charge of internal security is not going to make that more likely. So I don't think it's going to make things better for the government. All it does, it shores up the internal cohesion within Taliban, make sure that different elements of the Taliban group will stay together. I think that's what it was meant to do. With regard to non-Talibs, like Afghans who are not part of the movement, it did not include anyone. Women obviously were excluded. That's half of the population. People who disagreed with Taliban, held different political views, all excluded. Different identities, young people, educated people, people who hold different views on matters of law, politics, anything you can imagine, anyone but Taliban was excluded.
Haroun, I have about a minute left, and I want to ask you this. One of the main questions has always been, how does the Taliban sort of transition from a militant group who's predominantly active in rural areas? How do they transition into a governing body? What does governance mean for them? And this is actually going to be the first test. Zabihullah Mujahid said, this is a caretaker government which has been announced to take care of the current crisis. Do they have able people?
I don't think so. I don't think they put able people in charge. I don't think they put people in charge that would make it easier for them to work with the world. And I don't think they put enough right people in charge to calm the nation, who's very worried about Taliban monopolizing power and excluding anyone else who's not a Taliban from the government. People were afraid the Taliban would establish a totalitarian dictatorship that would monopolize power and go after everyone. This announcement kind of made those fears even worse. So, I mean, if you take any view of governance, like in terms of competence of running the government, if you think about inclusivity to ensure domestic legitimacy and international legitimacy, if you think about any criteria other than shoring up internal cohesion within the group, just making sure that the group stays together by divvying up the positions that exist right now, I think none of those were achieved right now.
Okay, Haroun Rahimi, thank you very much for that great analysis.